Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with a Great War mod. We're back here with Great Britain, and right now everything's going swell. So we're modernizing the army by moving over from early war to trench warfare, and we're setting up those forces right now. We're building the third army right here. We've got quite a few special troops set up within it. Indian troops, West Indies. We've got some King's Africa's Rifle, Canadian shock troopers, and so on. And that will be delivered somewhere on the European front, as it were. As we move down, we can see that the French are strengthening their front that we made for them. But at least now we've got quite a sizable force moving around these parts, so we can hope for, hopefully, a invasion into German territory to support our push up here in the Rhineland, where Sir Douglas Haig is moving back after successful battles down here. Unfortunately, no town gained, but that's to be expected because, well, it was quite far away from anything here. Looks like the French, for some reason, are pushing through here, or as I said, I was hoping for them to go down here. So I'm not entirely sure why they're deciding to go this way, and yet another problem because they're gonna screw with my victory condition. Not that it's super important, because I'll still just claim victory in the end. But I would like to at least try to accomplish the victory goals by taking them for myself. And more than so, there's not a lot, except for the fact that we last episode were able to land our troops for our Gallipoli campaign. So Sir Horace Smith Doran has landed his combined force of Australians, New Zealanders, Canadians. Has landed on the shore, and I'm sure the British troops here as well, as we've got quite a few, or I should say English troops, or Welsh, or whatever, Northern Irish, all kinds, manning the artillery and stuff like that, and the general himself. I don't actually know about the fellow, but I guess he could be British, who knows. So we've landed. There is a full stack protecting the capital, and then there's a full stack over here protecting this bridge. We'll see if they go ahead and attack, otherwise we'll proceed with going directly for Constantinople. Taking it out in one blow would be fantastic, and would open up for us to take control of the oil supply going through there. With that said, I have no moves to make, so let's go ahead and end turn and see if the enemy will go ahead and strike us. The Ottoman force goes ahead and strikes us. We don't have Ataturk, which is good, because then we now stand a pretty good chance. Now, we've got a lot better heavy artillery on our side. Now, the Ottoman, though, have some elite battalions. They've got marines, and overall it looks like they've got a bit more experience throughout their troops, but otherwise we seem to be in a pretty good state. The generals are evenly matched, and in terms of troops, there's a difference of what, 6, 7, 8 soldiers. With that said, let's go ahead and start the landings and fight the Ottomans. And there we have our deployment. As the Ottomans weren't actually there when we landed, we were able to march inland, so you can't even see the sea from over here. Now, my plan is to have the Australians here in the center, and they're going to be backed up by all the artillery. Then on the left, we've got the New Zealand troops ready to march forward, and they've got this machine gun group ahead of them as they advance here. The idea is, of course, that the high ground they will be able to cover an advance by the Ottomans into the big open space here. Also, interesting feature here is that the Australian light cavalry can actually deploy out of the deployment zone, or ahead of the deployment zone. So I've deployed them in this wood right here, so they could quickly move there and attack the Ottomans in a flanking maneuver if we move fast enough. As said, let's go ahead and quickly just look. We've got the Australians. They are the 5 battalions of Australians are in the center, and then on the right I've got the Highland battalions, 3 of them, and they're flanked by a machine gun. Not intending to move here right at the start. So we're going to move through here and see what we get with the Australians. Might have to push back or retreat back. Okay, so the Ottomans, quite far away, they deployed in the backside of their deployment zone. And not only that, they deployed in a very tight formation. We'll start the advance and we'll see where we land with this. As with that, the light cavalry isn't really in a position to charge because, well, we can clearly see there's cavalry in the way. There's lots of concentrated troop formations. Light cavalry would be slaughtered moving into this, but the there's definitely. Ooh, look at that! Hit this formation with a little bit of gas. Why don't you? Actually, everything will be focused in on the guys going into the that crevasse or whatever you want to call it to start with. And I'm gonna speed the troops up as much as possible, as we want to keep the enemy concentrated like that. Easier to destroy them. This is definitely going to be a death valley for the Ottomans, given the amount of shelling they will receive moving through here. Okay, so my troops are getting up there. Looks like our troops are going to be way ahead of the machine guns, so they won't really be able to be useful or take part in this. But I'm not entirely sure that's needed, given the absolute massacre that I imagine is taking place right here. Now, most of the infantry and stuff has actually moved away. From here, they can't protect the artillery. And these guys are getting into the zone of fire right now. So the light Australians will be now moved over to here and will prepare to strike the Ottomans in the flank. The cavalry was just dispersed. We've got, I think these are the elite battalions moving forward here on the flank, while we've got the main Ottoman advance moving out now of the... Oh shit, look at that. Almost missed that. Hold and prepare to fire. Reservist cavalry being targeted now by machine guns. Quickly cut to pieces. Trying to move into a flank position on my Scottish battalions. The Scottish battalions should move forward through the woods and start to cut up the side here. We got the Australians. They are ready. Let's go ahead and meet. Send one up to meet the enemy reserve cavalryists. And then the other two will move in to sweep away a lot of the machine guns and stuff in the back here. Not entirely sure what the Ottomans had in mind here, but they're going straight in to a death zone that was created here. And all the artillery is basically all, plus all small arms fire, is focused in here, and they get absolutely massacred. Okay, we're actually... The cavalry is not doing too well over there. I'm sending in a second unit. And then the important part is actually to strike the machine guns over there. Once the second unit came in and we were able to flank the units, it worked out. It's a bit dangerous here to send in the troops like this. I'm gonna hold the fire with my artillery. Charging in on these, I don't think is a good idea actually. I was hoping maybe I could strike them from both sides, but I don't think that's a good idea, is it? Let's have the Scots advance forward, the Australian battalions and the New Zealanders, and have the light cavalry move as far away as possible right now. And then once more we'll tell the artillery to unleash hell upon our enemy. Right, the troops moving forward. We got light mortar battery. That could be a target for the cavalry. They could slip past around here, hit the enemy in the back. This light Australian cavalry got very heavily hit, so definitely gonna push them back. Continuously shooting here. I'm gonna tell them not to, just in case that they end up shooting each other. Actually, this one will be allowed to shoot, but the other two won't. Oh, we're almost hitting ourselves here. We are actually hitting ourselves here with the gas. Let's tell the gas projectors to hold fire. The Ottomans actually rallied a bit here. It's only going to lead to an absolute massacre of their troops. Not as many dead in this valley as I thought there would be. It actually increases the amount of bodies once we come out here, and where the small arms fire was turned on. Hold fire here as this one passes through. Let's have the cavalry move in. There's a risk here of friendly fire as we move behind where all the small arms fire is coming in on this Ottoman unit. Everyone will focus on that, while the cavalry will be attacking this unit right here. The Scots have passed each other, so you can go ahead and pick your targets. I think we'll see an utter annihilation of the Ottoman forces here. It's not going to be a pleasant read for them. Oh, we're going to hit our cavalry with friendly fire here. Unfortunately, I was not quick enough to stop the fire. Mortar battery is getting cut up by the Australian light cavalry. And there we have it. Victory, ladies and gentlemen. The Ottoman force kind of killed itself moving through this area right here. And then just was absolutely massacred by artillery and small arms fire. Little bit too heavy losses on our side, but I mean, it was equal forces. So, and I still think we have a good chance at continuing on towards the capital, hoping that it's not a mass of heavy artillery waiting for us there. Here's the result of that battle. As we said earlier, both the forces very equal in number, with only like 8 people difference. In terms of losses, the Ottoman force lost everything but 4 men. comparatively, the British force managed to lose 425. So we still have a force of 2,219 men remaining. As I note here, a high amount of the losses on our side, actually more than about half of our losses were actually self-inflicted. Probably through artillery fire, I imagine. We did see that the gas hit one of the Scottish battalions. So that wasn't great. In terms of kills, we've got the Australian infantry in the top, followed by the gas projectors. And as we go down, in the bottom, we find the general in one of the machine guns, New Zealand infantry. Obviously, they were supposed to be having a slow advance with the machine gun. The Ottomans, though, they just charged ahead and died. But there we have that. The Gallipoli campaign, or the landings of Gallipoli, have been successful. Oliver Pitt fighter plane. Just as I was looking at the end turn, I had completely forgot about Ireland. But there's an obvious reason, of course, why I had forgotten about Ireland. Because they're bloody morons, aren't they? They've managed to gather quite a force around Connemara, but what are they even doing here? Aerial reconnaissance. Raid on Connemara. Very unexpected, right? Prefers trenches. Ooh, campaign 25 to movement range. Attacking on land, though. Good. Prefers trenches. I don't know about that. Right, he just landed. He did a successful landing in Gallipoli. And he wants to slow down the speed. Someone replace my generals. Someone replace them. Right, let's go ahead and take...
I serve God's will.
You serve God's will, do you? Well then, I want you to infiltrate the airspace above the Irish. Right.
Un verdadero hijo de España a su servicio, señor.
Yes. These will actually advance through like this. And then the main force will take on the bridge. Now, it's kind of a problem here, just because as much as I shouldn't underestimate the Irish too much. There's still quite a lot on them. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 battalions of regular infantry against a force on my side where I've got 6 reserve battalions and 3 units of cavalry. So it's not really a super strong force, is it? I will be able to deliver these troops plus artillery by next turn to be sent over if need be. Right now, I imagine it's going to be a bloody fight, but I will be able to defeat these troops. I'm hoping they will gather a bit more so I can attack them all at a big front, but yeah. The Irish insurrection continues. That's not where we're going to concentrate now, though. What we're going to concentrate is down here. God, look at that. Look at that. Dude can barely walk anywhere. It's going to take him 3 turns. Actually, 4 now. God. It'll take forever for you. And the Ottomans will have time to gather troops.
Yes, my lord.
I'm pretty sure we can crush anything the Ottomans put against us, but at the same time, I don't really want to risk my naval force in case things go south here. But I would want to, like, attack these guys and sink them. Currently, they're attacking the trade route, which I don't get. I guess it's the trade route that's going to... do we have trade going through here? Nope, we don't. They're raiding some other trade. We'll be raiding the trade as well. Two can do that. Right, with that... Oh yeah. Forgot about these guys. We were building a... We were supposed to be building... Okay, so we got railroad on the way. We're building up the barracks. Hopefully we'll increase the resupply rate. What I'm thinking here is we do have infantry battalions ready to be recruited here. I would want some kind of maybe artillery to be stationed here. I could, you know, the machine guns aren't that useful in attack. I could leave one here, and that could be enough. 3 infantry units, or 6 in the long run, plus the machine gun, could be enough to hold off whatever the Germans are sending. They're not sending a lot. Now I'm interested to hear what the French are gonna do. Let's go ahead and discover what's going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, this is a tempting target, but at the same time, I kind of want to help the French. If anything, just to diminish the amount of troops here. Why is he going for... why is he blitzkrieging like that to Hanover? When they've got such a build-up of troops down here. Where I don't understand why they're not pushing through, because there's actually not that many Germans here, right? Look at this. So there's a full stack in here, but there's like, what, 5 French ones here. All they need to go and get rid of these 2, and then they can just get in here. And then we can actually support the Russian offensive. Now, the Germans have taken back all the territory they lost from the Russians. And maybe we can even expect the Germans to be pushing forward and taking territory from the Russians. They still hold on... Oh yes! I forgot my bomber to figure out what's going on here. They've got a full stack. The Russians got a full stack. Are there any other troops here? That's so weird and interesting at the same time. Russians been able to push a full stack. The Austrians don't even have that much in the capital. That's open for the taking. Huh. This is gonna put a lot of pressure on the Austrians. Because now we've got the Russians right here and the Italians right here. I guess the Germans have some pressure going here as well. We even have an Austrian troop here. Enough of this though. Let's go ahead and see about advancing. So once more, let's go ahead and end turn, shall we? That's the aircraft, right? Yes. Oh, what do we have here? Hungarian revolutionaries. The Russians have caused an Hungarian revolution. Interesting. Are there any more of them? There might be. Huh. Interesting. The world is really all over the place. I don't think the Hungarians will succeed though, but that's bloody interesting. I want to go and see what's going on here, because right now it looks like this thing is on fire, so the Austrians might actually be on the advance here against the Italians. Which is not good. Heavy artillery being recruited in England. We've got factory complex in England, and Tolkien arrives. So I guess he's embedded now in this army under Haig. Doesn't look like the Germans are advancing here. So I'll advance... Wait, this is actually British territory all the way up through here. So we can actually station us here, right at the crossroad, and then wait for a command to push through. Look at what the French are doing. They've moved through, and they're over here. They're gonna try and end it by going all the way to Berlin. The weirdos. I don't think they'll succeed. They laid siege to this place for like a second and then left. Really odd maneuvering going on. I want to make sure... Oh, so he's no longer there, is he?
Your lordship. Your will.
Huh. I guess he moved into here. Right, so that's what's going on there. Down by the Ottomans. Maybe I should make it towards the road and we'll speed up the forward movements. Doesn't look like it. And then what's happening in Ireland is, of course, since we've blocked the bridge here, they're going to try and bypass it. So we should definitely try and move in on the Irish. This aircraft, I mean, it flies pretty well, so we'll have it fly all the way back. Given this, the force will be combined and we'll be moving in among them. And then, maybe, just maybe next turn as they move, we'll strike them down and kill them all. We're gonna go ahead and build a seaport right here. Good, good. Everything's good. We got another port here. I was thinking of building this one into a military port, so that's why I'm holding back on upgrading that. What do I get for training facilities? Will we get any other interesting troops? Probably. More than Canadian shock troops. Gurkha rifles. That would be cool. Get some Gurkhas going. I should actually already be able to maybe get something like that over here. Doesn't look like it. We got snipers. Maybe some more interesting artillery. Right. Let's go ahead and end turn once more and see what the enemy has in store for us. Wonderful. Wonderful news indeed. Well, the French close in even further on Berlin. That's going to be if the French manage to take that, that's going to be such a weird moment, isn't it? We've got a new general on the line. Got technological advance. Troops in the Rhineland. Airplane. New Jersey shark attack. Odd. Right, let's go ahead and see. What are we waiting for? Yeah, we're still waiting for reinforcements here. Looks like the Germans aren't going to advance. They are moving troops here, so I'm not too sure. I'm not liking the situation. We might want to push through and take this just to divert these guys to go north again. At the same time, let's go ahead and take a look. I actually noticed, yeah, the Belgian army has made it over here. So where the French are not moving forward, the Belgians are. So that's pretty good. But at least someone's moving forward. At the same time, I want to see what's happening over by Venice. Let's go ahead and see. There's a full stack there. There's a full stack there. It doesn't look as though anything's really advancing towards there. At the same time, we're inching our way closer towards Constantinople. But here's the really good news. Look at this. The Irish split their army in two. Now, they had an advantage on me when they had 10 battalions to my 6 plus 3 cavalry. But now they've sent 3 battalions away to go this way around. I've got enough territorial force here to hold them off. So let's go ahead and attack the Irish. And start bringing these rascals to justice. Suddenly, I outnumber the enemy by 700 men. They would have an additional 600 if they hadn't split. So I had 100 men more than them. But they've got actual rifle battalions with 55 accuracy against mine 49. And that could have changed for their victory. Anyways, let's go ahead and deal with these potato munchers. Pretty easy plan here, to say the least. My infantry will move forward, hold the Irish battalions in place, and then the cavalry will swing around and attack them from the back. With that, we should go ahead and start the battle, shan't we? Let's have our battalions move forward, take position in the woods as quickly as possible. Looks like the Irish are holding their position, awaiting the reinforcements, which is good. It's just unfortunate for them, a large part of the reinforcements is on the other side of the river. Look at that, they have actually dug in. That's gonna make it a little bit more difficult for us to advance on them. The thing though is they've dug in around really bad terrain where the entire line can't really cover each other, can they? I also notice that there's seemingly no reinforcements coming in for them. So there's that. Given that, we will strike this side first. Now I would want to strike the general. What we'll do is we'll detach 2 units to come over the ridge here. Or are the Irish leaving their position? They're actually moving, tilting out of their positions. But I'm gonna continue with the plan that I've set. So we're gonna have 2 move to behind here, with this cavalry moving around to here. And then the rest of these will be coming through here. And then we've got the other 2 cavalry units lining up to strike the Irish from the back. Well, let's kick things into gear and get this going. Now, we have the general close by just as support, since it is reserve battalions. So they might not stand under prolonged fighting. Looks like the general is actually moving out to face these 2. We'll pull slightly back. That's actually really good if he moves out on his own. Then the Australians can come in and crush them. What I'm going to do is that they're not going to be able to get fire on all of these. So I'll get these forward like this, and then this one starting to flank around. These are set, so as soon as the Irish come into range, we'll be opening up fire upon them. The Australians will be sweeping in. These guys will be making their attack. Oh, we got fire already. So far, no one's actually hitting each other. It's a little bit disconcerting. No one's actually dying! What are you guys being fired upon from? I guess stray shots from the fight over here. Well, now some people are actually starting to die. And it's only Irish. 2 Irish have been shot. The Irish are moving forward here. Not a great position actually for my battalions. These 2 will be moving into the flank, while these 2 will hold their position, being supported by the general. No one's actually being shot over here except for the Irish, which have lost 3. Now they're gonna lose even more as the light Australian cavalry is moving in. We've got the British cavalry moving to this side, ready to sweep in. Heavy losses on this Irish battalion. It's going to be even more once my battalion's moving into this flank position is getting torn up by the Irish. Here comes the light cavalry. Shot, killing loads. Right, the 2 battalions will advance. Let's see, Ooh! The Australian light cavalry lost 60 men before they were able to strike. But they did strike And they killed the Irish general. The leader of the rebellion, or at least part of it, I imagine it's the main force, got killed there. Rode down by the Australian cavalry. Once these got into place, you can see the Irish are now in full retreat. Unfortunately for them, the British Army has sent in cavalry to sweep the troops away. And rather quickly, we are crushing this revolt. We'll have the reserve battalions advancing onto the Irish. Let's see. I don't want to fight these guys again. And I want to dishearten the 3 battalions that didn't take part in this battle by riding down what's left of the Irish troops. But there we have it. So much for the Easter revolt. It's all gone now. And there we have it. Huzzah! We were able to destroy the entire force down to every last man. And we managed to lose 251 in the process. We also managed to kill about 40 of our own men in the process as well. But I will hear none of that. In terms of kills, cavalry is the highest killer, it was no surprise. Followed by some of the service battalions. Highest losses is for one of the service battalions, I should say. With losing 67 men. But this basically opens up for us to completely... Here goes another. Oh, yeah. Loco, mister. Can I detach these? Yes, I can. And another 200 troops lost. La faca e la mano. Yes. We faco di mano. I don't know what that means, but... we got 4 units here that seemingly would be enough to deal with the rest of the Irish revolt. So, yeah. There we have it. Given the time here, I think we're going to end the episode right here. So, I'll say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.